Yo, what up guys? Welcome back to Sneaker Stories. As always, I'm your host Chris Jack. Today doing something again a little different here. You guys might have seen my full Ultra Boost collection video recently right here on Sneaker Stories. I thought it would be cool considering it's almost 5 years of the relationship between Kanye West and Adidas with the Yeezy line and a whole host of different releases, of which I've got one of every one, at least from a silhouette perspective, here in the room with me today. And I'm going to go through them in chronological order. I thought it would be quite cool just to take a look back at the last 5 years of Yeezy, all the different models that have come out. I'm not going to go into detail with colorways of every single one, otherwise we might be here all day talking about 350 V2s. But I thought it would just be really cool to see what's happened over the last 5 years with Adidas and Yeezy. So without further ado, let's get to it. Okay, so first shoe, one of my all-time favorites, the OG 750 right here. This was just one of the more iconic shoes ever created. It was the first shoe that Kanye West did with Adidas. They were highly sought after and released for $350 in February 2015. That is nearly 5 years ago right now. So pretty incredible to see the shoe having stood the test of time here. It's definitely one of my favorite, released in 4 colorways. The gray gum, which featured the glow-in-the-dark sole on it, the triple black up there, and then of course the brown version right here. And this was actually one of my favorite versions. It was a lot more comfortable than the previous iterations. They just did some minor changes to the upper of it in terms of the padding around the heel section, etc. But all in all, I think the 750 is an incredible shoe. I really wish that there would be some more colorways of these, but it doesn't really look like they're going to be bringing this back in terms of this particular shape. But maybe one day Kanye will bless us with a V2. Let me know in the comments if you want to see more 750 colorways down the line. Following the 750 drop, the 350 V1 came in June 2015. Now this one really took the world by storm. There wasn't a celebrity worth their salt not wearing this pair and really just hyping it up. They were so sought after. They were selling for thousands of dollars depending on size all the way back there. It really is just such an incredible shoe, albeit not the most durable shoe. I mean, these ones I've had for quite some time now and they have already started to crack in terms of the paint, etc. But you know what? I'm never getting rid of these. They are absolutely beautiful and really where it all started for Kanye and Adidas. And as you know, these also released in a few other colorways throughout the rest of 2015 and 2016. You have the Pirate Black, which did 2 different versions, a V1 and V2 version of that, which just had slightly different variations in the heel padding of the shoe. And then you had the Oxford Tan, and last but not least, the Moon Rocks. Then next up is one of the craziest shoes ever created. These were really expensive at $585. They did not release locally here in South Africa, probably for good reason, because I think the only purpose of this particular shoe is to wear it in snow and just crazy bad weather terrain. The 950 itself features this awesome Teflon upper over here, this crazy rubber mid and outsole. Really nothing is getting through the shoe. It's got some beautiful detailing on the inside of it, including a leather insole with gold Adidas and Yeezy branding foiled onto the heel. And following on from the 950s, in October 2016, we saw the birth of the 350 V2 Beluga stance heel tab over here. Now the 350 V2, I mean, everybody knows this shoe right now. The Beluga is still one of my favorite colorways of all time, and me personally, I definitely prefer not having that heel tab here in the back of the shoe. However, we have seen probably more than 30 different variations and colorways of the 350 V2. We also saw reflective versions of the shoe created with transparent stripes on them. So some minor variations between the different 350 V2s out there. But yeah, as we know, there've been a hell of a lot of them. So I'm not going to go through all of them, but there's pretty much every color you can think of and every shade of every color you can think of. And they're showing no signs of slowing down as well. In fact, I think there are around 18 more colorways dropping this year in 2020. The 350 V2 was a huge upgrade from the 350 V1 in terms of its structure, its materials, and just overall comfort of the shoe. The durability on the V2s was a hell of a lot better than what you got on the V1s, and that goes for comfortability as well. I still do love the 350 V2s. I think that some of them are super awesome. It's just sad that we've had to see so many different colorways in such a short space of time, which has really kind of killed the hype and exclusivity of this particular model. In March 2017, the CALARASAS shoe released for $170. This is the black version of it. It originally released with a core white version of the shoe, which I don't have. This is a really tiny one. This is a UK 4.5. I mean, it's really small. The POWERPHASE CALARASAS was just not a shoe for me. It didn't look good on my feet. I have had all of them, in fact, here in the room, and I have reviewed them, as with pretty much every other Yeezy, to be honest. But yeah, this one just didn't really suit me. I didn't really enjoy it too much on foot, the shape of it. The materials were quite cool because it was nice, soft, thin leather, so pretty comfortable on foot, but just not really something that I was vibing with. Since then, we've seen a whole bunch of different colorways of the shoe released, and including most recently an all suede version of the shoe. Now, one of my all-time favorite silhouettes from Yeezy and Adidas is the 700 V1 Wave Runner. Now, this originally released on Yeezy Supply in November 2017, followed by a global release a couple of months later. I think I waited about 3 months for Kanye West to ship the shoe. It was crazy. It really turned me off Yeezy Supply back then. They released for $300, the equivalent of 5,000 Rand locally here when they did eventually release, but I really believe this was a great step in the right direction for the Yeezy brand. It really encompassed the whole dad shoe vibe, and with an awesome colorway like this, I just could not say no to them. They're still one of my favorite shoes of all time. The 700 was released in a whole bunch of other colorways as well, and continues to release to date in a variety of different shades. And of course, there have been other versions of this particular pair, which we'll get to later in the video. In February 2018, we saw the arrival of the Yeezy 500 silhouettes. This was the first one that featured Adiprene instead of Boost technology in the shoe, obviously apart from the POWERPHASE and the 950. But most of the shoes were coming out with Boost, and this was the first time we saw Adiprene. It was surprisingly comfortable on foot and has since released in a whole variety, I think around 7 different colorways of the Yeezy 500. Towards the end of 2018, another shoe arrived which I absolutely loved, the upgrades to the 700 V1 to the V2 version, which this is the OG version of. I really loved the hits of 3M on this pair and the material upgrades that we saw. The comfortability was also completely on point with the Boost technology in the midsole. Now, after that 700 V2 release in December 2018, there were a whole slew of 350 V2 colorways, as well as 700 V1 and V2 colorways to boot. Then in October 2019, the Desert Boot arrived, which drew its inspiration from the Yeezy 500. However, it created more of a high version and a more rugged version that you could probably use for hiking. They didn't really sell out these. They're mostly still available everywhere around the world. From a price point of view, I was kind of expecting these to be a little bit more expensive than the Yeezy 500s, but they are the same price, so that's $200 or 3,300 Rand locally. As said, most of them are still sitting on shelf, so if you are looking for a hiking boot and want to have a little bit of flex on your feet, then these are probably for you. Then towards the end of last year, in December 2019, we saw a whole host of different brand new silhouettes from Yeezy and Adidas. This is one of the more interesting ones, and this is a tiny, this is UK4 as well. The Yeezy Slide, released in 3 different colorways, $55, I think around 600 Rand locally here. This has got to be the strangest thing I've ever seen in my life. And I'm not really big on slides myself, but I kind of get the sort of fashion appeal of these. They did pretty much sell out most places as far as I'm aware. They are incredibly light on hand and just a different vibe completely on these. Not really my cup of tea overall, but had to include in this video anyway. Then just after that, we saw the US release of the 380 Alien, a brand new silhouette, originally dubbed the 350 V3. However, very happy they changed the name of that because it is really an entirely different shoe here in the flesh. I have reviewed this quite recently, so you guys might have seen that already. If you haven't, go and find that because it really is an awesome shoe as well. Now, these haven't released globally properly just yet. There are rumors that they will release in the next month or two, at least on a global scale. So hang tight for that if you're not ready to pay the horrible resale that these are going for at the moment. But overall, I'm a massive fan of the silhouette. It's really nice to be able to talk about something that's not a 350 V2. And just from a material perspective and comfort point of view, you really can't beat the shoe right now. And then seemingly out of nowhere, after that 380 Alien release in the States, the 500 High Slate appeared. Now, this is obviously a high version of the original Yeezy 500. It's incredibly comfortable on foot, and I'm actually quite impressed with this colorway and material mix-up on the upper of this pair. These did release globally a little later in December 2019 for a slightly increased price point of $220 or 3,500 Rand. And then last but not least, the shoe that I only actually picked up yesterday. It is an incredible 700 V3 Azael, or however you pronounce it. This is a completely redesign of the 700. I really believe that it should have had its own number name. It should have been like a 720 something, I don't know, I guess 750's taken, but it really is a completely different shoe. It doesn't have Boost in it. It's got this very futuristic upper and redesigned midsole on it. I'm really excited to see more colorways of these coming in the future, and the 380 Alien actually, and I guess just more in general on these new silhouettes going into 2020. And speaking about new silhouettes, there are still a couple more that are set to release in 2020. One of the ones I'm looking forward to the most is the Quantum basketball shoe, which looks like that. I'm really excited for that. It's got a lot of inspiration and kind of similarities from this particular pair, so I'm really amped on that. And then you got some weird shit as well that Kanye is just kind of doing on the side. I don't even know what these are. They're like algae boots stock Croc I don't even know what those are. I'm 100,000,000% am not buying that shoe. But yeah, overall speaking, it's been a pretty crazy 5 years of Adidas Yeezy releases, all over the years, all over different colorways, all of that kind of stuff. It's been pretty awesome being able to collect most of them. I have had to let quite a few go though, because it just got too out of hand with 350 V2 releases. But if I have missed anything out, which I hope I haven't, please let me know in the comments below. You can publicly roast me for that. But I hope you guys have enjoyed looking at all the different releases over the last 5 years from Kanye West and Adidas. But yeah, I thought I had the shoes here, might as well make a video and show you guys. So thanks very much for watching. Please give the video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and let me know which is your favorite silhouettes and colorway in the comment section below. I'm really keen to see which comes out as the most popular out of all of these shoes behind me, and obviously other colorways as well. But that's it for today's video. I'll catch you on the next one.